Hello, friends. Welcome back to Easy Talk English, the place where learning English feels easy and fun. Today, we're going to talk about something that so many English learners feel deep inside: the habit of staying silent. The silent English habit. You understand English. You can read, you can write, maybe you can even think in English a little, but when it's time to speak, your mouth freezes. Your mind goes blank. You smile, you nod, you say nothing. Have you ever felt that? You want to talk, but words just don't come out. That's what we call the silent English habit. And today I'll help you break it, step by step, gently, naturally, with confidence. Let's begin with a simple truth. Silence doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you are scared. You are scared of being wrong, scared of people laughing, scared of not finding the right words. And that's okay. Everyone who learns a new language feels that fear. Even I felt it when I learned my second language. It's like standing on a diving board, looking at the water, wanting to jump, but not trusting yourself yet. But my friend, you can jump. And once you do, you'll realize the water is not so deep after all. Let me tell you a story. There was a boy named Amir. He studied English for many years. He was great at reading. He got good grades in school. But whenever someone spoke to him in English, he stayed silent. One day, his teacher asked him, "Amir, why don't you speak?" He said, "I'm afraid of making mistakes. People will laugh." The teacher smiled and said, "You know, the people who speak fluently now made thousands of mistakes before." But they didn't stop. That day, Amir decided to try. The next time someone spoke to him, he replied, just one small sentence: "I'm fine. Thank you." It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that one sentence started his journey from silence to speech. Maybe you are like Amir. Maybe you understand everything, but you just can't say it out loud. So let's understand why this happens. When you learn English in school, you often learn grammar, writing, and reading, but you don't get to use it in real life. You know the rules, but not the rhythm. Speaking needs rhythm, emotion, confidence, not just knowledge. That's why many learners stay silent even after years of study. They never practice speaking freely. But here's the good news: you can change that. You can break the silent English habit. It doesn't matter if you're shy or nervous. You just need small, simple steps. Speaking English is like lighting a fire. At first, it's small: one spark, one word, one sentence. But if you keep adding little sticks, more practice, more courage, soon the fire will grow. So, how can you start? The first step is to talk to yourself. Yes, you heard me right. Talk to yourself in English. When you wake up, say, "Good morning, me. How are you today?" When you make tea, say, "I'm making tea. It smells nice." When you walk outside, say, "The weather is beautiful." These are short, easy sentences. Nobody is watching, nobody is judging. It's just you and your voice. Every time you speak to yourself, you train your brain to speak without fear. Some people think, but that's silly, talking to myself? Not at all. It's actually one of the most powerful ways to build fluency. You see, silence becomes a habit, but speaking can become a habit too, if you do it often enough. Every time you speak, even softly, you break the old pattern and build a new one. The second step is to speak small English every day. Not big, perfect English, small English. Use simple phrases in daily life. When someone says hello, reply in English. When you go shopping, say thank you. When you order food, try saying, "Can I have a coffee, please?" These small sentences are like exercises for your speaking muscles. You don't need big, complex grammar, you just need action. Do you know what happens when you speak small English every day? Your brain starts trusting your voice. You stop overthinking and your words come naturally. Because the biggest problem is not grammar, it's fear. The fear of speaking. And the only way to beat fear is to face it, slowly, gently, every single day. Now, I want you to think of something. Do you remember the first time you learned to ride a bicycle? At first, you fell. You were scared. You moved slowly. But after some practice, you didn't even think about balance anymore. Speaking English is the same. The first few times, your words will feel shaky, but soon your voice will find its balance. Here's another story. A student named Hannah once told me, I can think in English, but my mouth doesn't move. I asked her, when was the last time you spoke English out loud? She thought for a moment and said, maybe last month. I smiled and said, that's the problem. Your brain knows the words, but your mouth forgets the movement. You see, speaking is a physical skill. You need to use your mouth, your tongue, your voice, just like exercise. So if you stay silent, your speaking muscles sleep. But when you speak a little every day, those muscles wake up. That's why it's so important to speak, even to yourself, even when nobody is listening. English is not learned only by studying, it's learned by using. Reading and listening fill your mind with words, but speaking brings those words to life. Another reason many learners stay silent is because they want to sound perfect. But perfection is the biggest enemy of fluency. If you wait for perfect English, you will never speak. Think about babies learning to talk. Do they speak perfectly? No, they say funny, broken words. But everyone smiles because they are learning. You are the same. You don't need perfect English. You need brave English. I want you to remember this. The goal is not perfect English. The goal is clear English. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You just need to express yourself. If people understand you, you have succeeded. Every sentence you say is progress. Every mistake is proof that you tried. Sometimes, silence also comes from negative experiences. Maybe someone laughed at your English once. Maybe a teacher corrected you harshly. Maybe you compared yourself to others who speak better. But those moments don't define you. Everyone's English journey is different. Some people start fast, some slow. What matters is that you keep moving. Here's something you can try tonight. Stand in front of a mirror and talk for 1 minute in English. Just 1 minute. Talk about your day, your plans, your favorite food, anything. Don't worry about grammar. Don't stop to think. Just speak. When you do this, you'll see something amazing. Your brain will start helping you. The more you speak, the faster your brain finds words. That's how confidence grows. Also, surround yourself with English voices. Listen to people speaking English. Watch videos, listen to podcasts, even short clips. Not to copy perfectly, but to feel the rhythm of English. The more you listen, the more natural your speech will become. Because speaking and listening are like two best friends. They help each other grow. When I was learning another language, I used to listen and repeat. I'd hear a sentence, pause, and say it out loud, like an echo. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. It felt funny, but it worked because my mouth learned the movement, my brain learned the sound, and slowly I stopped being silent. So if you want to go from silence to speech, remember these three little rules. Speak small, speak often, speak without fear. You don't need to wait for the perfect time or the perfect sentence. The perfect time is now. The perfect sentence is any sentence you say. Sometimes people ask me, how long will it take to become fluent? And I always say, it starts the day you stop being silent. Fluency doesn't begin when you master grammar. It begins when you open your mouth. The first word you speak is the first step toward confidence. Imagine this. 1 year from now, you walk into a room and someone asks you, how are you? You smile and reply, I'm doing great. How about you? Naturally, without fear, without silence. That version of you is possible if you start speaking today. Remember, silence feels safe, but it keeps you stuck. Speech feels scary, but it sets you free. Every time you choose to speak, you are choosing courage, and courage is what builds fluency. So, my friend, don't let silence steal your voice. Your English doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. It just needs to be yours. Start with small steps. Whisper if you must, but speak. Speak to yourself, to your friends, to the mirror, to the world. Let your voice grow word by word until silence becomes speech and fear becomes confidence. And one day you'll look back and realize, wow, I'm actually speaking English. That day will come, I promise, if you just keep going. Thanks for watching Easy Talk English. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Keep practicing, and see you in the next video. Now tell me, what stops you from speaking English out loud, and how will you break your silence today?